So there are various learning theories, and their impact on teaching decisions have implications for instruction and in the use of technology in teaching and learning. So let's start with behaviorism. So this is an approach that revolves around the science of behavior. So according to behaviorists, the learner acquired behaviors, skills and knowledge in response to the rewards, punishment or withheld responses associated with the learner's action or behavior. From that point, the learner can be influenced by his environment. In this case, this is referred to as the stimulus, in which he reacts, referred to as the response, and which in turn instigates another reaction, referred to as a reinforcement. Behaviorism as an educational learning theory led to the development of several aspects of instruction and learning production, some of which we still use in classrooms today, including direct instruction, lecture, behavioral objective as classroom management, behavioral reward system, positive reinforcement, and individualized instruction, among other notions. A very good example of behaviorism is if you create a series of videos that will explain a variety of educational topics and immediately follow it by a quiz. And then based on the outcome, the students can assess their own understanding of the video and content material. The results are shown immediately after completion, and you provide a good explanation to help students better understand. In this case, students will be willing to put forth more effort after reinforcement of higher scores and thus positive results. Basically, the key is the instantaneous responses and grades, which can be a source of praise or criticism, both of which are strong factors in student performance. So cognitism is a learning theory in which learning takes place as a mental operation when information enters through the senses, undergoes mental manipulation, is stored, and is finally stored. So it deals with, in particular, how people perceive and remember information, solve problems, and ultimately learn. The term cognition refers to all processes by which sensory input is transformed, reduced, elaborated, stored and recovered, and used. A key focus of cognitive psychology is looking at how to communicate or transfer knowledge to learners in the most effective and efficient way by looking at mental processes and how the structure of the brain is changed during the course of learning. So if learners acquire understanding by building mental maps based on the information they are given, it makes sense to ensure that they have as many opportunities as possible to properly understand what they are learning. Therefore, if the cognitive demand of the learner is increased during instruction, it is likely that they will be able to make more links with prior learning and be able to apply what they have learned. Therefore, to support a cognitive approach, instructional materials should be varied and include audiovisual examples, demonstrations, opportunities for practical application, along with corrective feedback. So on this particular slide, I'm sharing Edgar Dale's Cone of Experience, which is a model that incorporates several theories related to instructional design and learning processes. It was in 1960s when Edgar Dale theorized that learners retain more information by what they do as opposed to what they heard, read, or observed. His research led to the development of the cone of experience. Today, this learning by doing has become known as experiential learning or action learning. So the cone is diagrammed and explained in this particular slide. So moving on, we're going to discuss the basic principles of teaching and educational technology. So why is it important to learn the principles of teaching? Principles are the chief guides to make teaching and learning effective and productive. Principles are the fundamentals through which we proceed from one situation to another. Let's start with the first one, principle of active involvement. This implies that for learning to take place, the student must be focused or engaged directly with the activity or task where he may draw knowledge, concepts, principles, attitudes, skills, or habits. Principle of connectivity involves the building of relationships or linkages between and among experiences. It facilitates remembering of names, dates, events, issues, processes, which includes spelling, number combinations, grammatical relationship, and formula in mathematics. The third one is the principle of integration. It refers to the organization or putting together diverse elements to form a unified and harmonious whole. The student should be able to combine his or her previous experiences together in meaningful patterns of understanding and application. Then there's principle of intention or motivation and interest. This implies that for learning to take place, the student must be focused or engaged directly with the activity or task where he may draw knowledge, concepts, principles and attitudes, skills, or habits. The principle of creativity and innovation refers to the ability to produce an original concept or idea and translate it into some forms of expression like a piece of art or craft. The principle of discovery, on the other hand, is what psychologists term as the aha experience. Students are elated at the thought of being able to discover by themselves the solutions to problems related to their topics and assignments. This is a situation where genuine learning happens. Then there's the principle of socialization. It promotes the acquisition of habits, attitudes, and knowledge and skills necessary for the smooth integration of the individual into the larger society. The principle of understanding means one cannot learn anything unless he or she comprehends the situation, the process, the concept, the philosophy, and the meaning of the learning task or tasks. And finally, there is the principle of cooperative process. It promotes the feeling of togetherness and belongingness, such as when responsibility is shared and ensured, motivation is intense, and learning is more effective. It is my hope that all of these basic principles of teaching will guide you as you choose your educational methods and technology. Educators may view the millennium in many ways, some with a new sense of purpose, renewed challenges, some with apprehension and uncertainty. Here in this training, we hope to use the influence of technology in shaping these perspectives. We explore the technology within the 21st century learning process and how it affects the teachers and the students' interaction in the classroom. These exciting innovations provide unlimited ways to expand our students' educational opportunities, but they also pose new challenges for the teachers. Technology should not be viewed as a tool meant to confuse or make things complicated, but rather as a response to a better, more productive educational system. Each of us needs to take a position on what the future or the now of education looks like and acquire the necessary understanding and skills toward realizing that vision. At the same time, We just not leave the fact that no matter how much skill we have on technology, our educational practice will never improve unless we have a clear understanding of what teaching and learning should accomplish. Thus, teachers should understand that integration of technology should be based in learning theory and teaching practice and should match specific teaching and learning skills. There are current issues in various subject area instructions that may impact the selection and use of technology in the classroom. Next week, you will learn about the topics, teaching and learning framework for integrating technology into the curriculum. How do you create instructional activities that successfully model subject area integration strategies? Watch out for next week.